All right, here we go. Summer League, baby. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the pregame lounge. Kale, that's when you're supposed to hit the air. There we go. Nuggets and Timberwolves. Second game of Summer League tonight. We're live from the Toyota Lounge. We're by your front range stores, the official vehicle of DNVR. Shout out to everybody in the Toyota chat. We'll be doing a watch along as well, too. That'll be me and Brendan Vogt on that. Nuggets have the Timberwolves in their second preseason game tonight. NBA just loves putting the Nuggets and Timberwolves together, don't they, Kale? I'm excited for this one. Really excited. Denver got that win, or they lost their Summer League opener on that that buzzer-beating three by Bouye the other day. Timberwolves won their opener, so I'm excited to see these two teams play. Minnesota's got a lot of talent on their team, but I can't wait to see what DaRon Holmes has. Can't wait to see what Tamar Bates has in store today. Vogt, what are you looking forward to today?
I am definitely looking forward. Well, I'm curious to see if they change the rotation at all. First and foremost, if Tamar Bates gets a different look, he's just the guy I would like to see thrive outside of Holmes. But first and foremost, I just want to see DaRon Holmes continue to look comfortable, confident, and shoot the ball well. I think shooting the ball comfortably is the single thing he can do to sort of increase his stock with the fan base in this environment. So I want to see Holmes shoot the ball well. I'd also like to see the Nuggets win.
Yeah.
They don't win a lot of Summer League games. That one left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. I know it doesn't matter, but I didn't like it, and I hope they win tonight.
Yeah, I hope they get a dub tonight too. We'll talk about Holmes and what he did in the opener, what we hope to see from him tonight. In terms of the Timberwolves, though, they have a stacked Summer League team. Have you seen this squad? They won their first game, their opener, 98-91 over the Pelicans, who I don't think have a very good squad. But Minnesota's kind of stacked.
They are stacked. Terrence Shannon Jr., we talked about this last time we were together. Postseason minutes. Leonard Miller, obviously a G League Ignite product, a guy they're looking to get some shine in this environment. Rob Dillingham, who's going to play consequential minutes for that team. His development's essential for the Timberwolves. And Behringer as well, the French part of the Renaissance going on here in the NBA. So
Behringer had 6 blocks in that opener.
They won. They're 1-0. They're a really, really good Summer League outfit, to be honest. And Denver's got their work cut out for them tonight. But defensively, they got to be engaged, or this one could get ugly.
Yeah, in terms of who's playing, I think everybody's playing for Denver. I haven't heard anything or seen anything about, if Hunter Tyson wasn't going to play or something, or
I have not
anything along those lines. So should be the same matchups. In terms of DaRon Holmes, because he is the big story for Denver at this Summer League. Thinking back to how he played in that first game, I thought he was honestly as good as you could hope he could be. I thought DaRon Holmes played a great game, man. Just coming off the ACL or the Achilles, it was a year ago. I feel like that's the minimum that you can come back from an Achilles in. I thought he was great. The 3-point shot, he showed that. His drives were honestly maybe the most impressive part of his game to me. He had a couple really nice drives, a couple really nice finishes. I was so impressed with how he played. He didn't try to do too much either. What are you wanting to see from him today?
Maybe more rebounding as a big. He only grabbed 4. Not that bad, really, given all the other things he was able to do. But I thought he boxed out well in the first game. He didn't necessarily grab a lot of rebounds, but I thought he was active in terms of boxing guys out. That's something he could do, that we didn't see necessarily a ton of in game 1. I loved the rim protection that we saw, that big block in game 1. I'd love to see another one. And then maybe more offensively, just different looks for him. Okay, we hear he's a shooter. He was 3 of 5 from deep. That was great. I'd love to see him continue to do that. But maybe the team gets him a look inside the perimeter. Maybe there's a post up that they drew up for him and not just those open looks. So I'm curious to see if Holmes is a bigger fulcrum in the offense tonight. He was obviously, in my opinion, their best player in game 1.
Yeah, what's interesting about DaRon is he's not a guy who's going to try to take over a game. Like, he's not going to be a guy who takes over the offense and hijacks it and, tries to get his and his. He's not somebody that's going to go, all right, it's DaRon Holmes time. He's a system player, I think. He's a guy who's going to fit in to whatever lineup and to whatever system the Nuggets are playing, and he's going to play his role. And he did lead the Nuggets in scoring in that opener, 15 points. He did take the second most shots out of the starting 5 behind Hunter Tyson, but he didn't color outside the lines. He didn't try to do too much, and that's something I really like about him as a player. He just knows he's a role player.
Yeah.
And that's going to fit really well on this team. So the thing I was thinking is I do want to see him be like a bigger fulcrum maybe. Like have maybe some more usage. But I think he's best when he's playing a defined role like he did in that first game.
Yeah, it's not give him the ball and let him cook anyone one-on-one.
For sure, yeah.
I am sort of curious what he can do in terms of post-up work, just because it's probably the part of his game I know the least about at this point.
He had a post-up game in college. I think he did.
Right. And there was one look in that first game.
Yeah.
He sealed, got a post-up, drew a foul. But so I'm just curious about it more than it's the number one thing I want to see, or just in terms of things we haven't seen yet. I think Holmes is not going to do too much coloring outside of the lines at the NBA level, but I'm curious if they ask him to here at Summer League.
And he's also going up against who was the front court from Milwaukee?
Oh, let's pull that. Yeah, it was
like who were their big men?
Their big men.
I already forgot.
Were Pete Nance.
Oh, that's right, Pete Nance.
And then they had Tyler Smith and Chris Livingston as well.
So not really any big bodies. Holmes was like the strongest player out there for sure. Minnesota, they've got Behringer, the rookie.
6'11",
but he's not a strong guy either. He does have length. So yeah, I'm actually intrigued by that. Maybe a couple post-ups for DaRon. I'd be cool with that.
And Leonard Miller as well, who probably will start if they do things like they did in game 1, 6'10", 220. So they have size. And then just to finish the point off, Terrence Shannon, as we mentioned, is technically a guard. He's 6'6", and he's a tall 6'6", in my opinion. So a lot of size out there. Curious to see how Holmes can handle it. And then will Denver get more minutes? Will they look for more starting minutes from Tyrell Harrison, who was a plus 14 as their starting center, 7'1".
Yeah.
I figure they're going to need him in this game as well.
Yeah. The second guy after Holmes that I'm most looking forward to watching tonight is Tamar Bates, who had a rough first half, I think, in that first game, and then kind of settled in and played pretty well in the second half. Hit a 3, couple nice defensive plays. You could really see his length shine on those plays. And look, he's on a 2-way contract. The Nuggets obviously believe in him. I'm really looking forward to see what he can do tonight, because not a great start to that first game, but it seemed like by the end of it, he had kind of settled into things.
His second stint was much better than his first. Try not to turn the ball over. I think sometimes maybe for him coming off the bench too, sometimes at Summer League it's easy to force it. Like, I gotta go, I gotta be the man, and he turned it over a couple of times. Will they look for him to create on his own? Can he create on his own? But also, how comfortable is he just with the ball in his hands as a guard, not just a scoring guard, as a guard? That's the big kind of, I think, test for Bates at Summer League going forward on a 2-way contract. Got to limit those turnovers. This is a guy who can shoot, who can finish. I mean, he's a 3-level scorer. So if he's confident, watch out.
Yeah. Spencer Jones, I'd like to see something from too. It doesn't seem like he's a Summer League type of player, though. Definitely based on that first game. 5 fouls in 22 minutes, 0-3 from the field. Hunter, it'd be great if Hunter hit some shots. I don't feel like we're going to learn a lot about him at this summer league, though.
He was so aggressive. He got so many shots up in that first game. Do you want to see that again? He led the team in shot attempts.
He had a pretty good first half, right?
He did.
And then he just missed everything after that.
4 of 14 he finished, man. 14 shots is a hefty amount. So I'm even like, that's the way he should be playing in his third summer league. But as far as what I'm looking to learn, I'd almost rather see some of the other guys get going.
Yeah, and then EJ Liddell, the other guy for me, I loved what he did in that first game. 28 minutes. That was actually tied for the most on the Nuggets after Hunter Tyson.
He's the front runner after one game. It's way too early for that third two-way spot.
Is he?
Of course,
is that what the streets are saying?
He's my front runner, I should say.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I should say he's my front runner. Of course, he was minus 13 in those 28 minutes. So maybe I'm working too hard.
Yeah, I don't know.
Him or Harrison, those are the two that impressed me.
Yeah.
And then also, we'll see, does Beekman get the start again tonight? Will it be Boo Booey? And with Beekman, can he be a table setter again? 6 assists. He's their only hope for it as a real playmaker table setter on this team. So he has to sort of take that same mindset and be effective in that role again, of course.
Yeah, we'll see. The one thing this team doesn't really have is a true table setting point guard.
100%.
Like, that's really the one thing they're missing. Honestly, they're missing Jalen Pickett.
Beekman.
But they have Beekman.
Beekman looked the part in game one.
Definitely looks the part.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. Tamar Bates only 18 minutes, man. That's so interesting.
I feel like he's that. If game 1, game 2, that could be a big difference.
I've got some questions about Andrew Munson's rotation.
Come on now, Munson. Don't make me ask you some tough questions. I'll fly over there.
Yeah. Let's move on to Big Val and the latest on him. Adam and Mark Stein put out an interview that they did with each other. Not really an interview, but a video, I guess I should say.
A little hit.
It's on the DNVR YouTube channel. Check it out later on tonight. But Mark had a lot of really interesting details in that for me at least helped me see the whole situation pretty clearly.
Okay.
Mark said a lot that kind of, filled in all the blanks that I had. And I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what's going on. So, Vogt, you know that XL Sports, the agency.
Of course.
They rep a lot of guys on the Nuggets.
A lot of guys.
Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, even Dario Saric.
Once Russell Westbrook.
You know who they also rep? Jonas Valanciunas.
I have heard that.
So that's why it was so interesting to me when all this news started to filter out that the Nuggets were completely blindsided and everybody was completely blindsided like that. Like, that made no sense to me. You have this great relationship with his agent. Wouldn't he have given you at least a little bit of a heads up that this was something they were maybe thinking about?
That's what you would think.
XL Sports and the Nuggets, except in this one situation. But what Mark said, and what I think is kind of the crux of what happened here, is that Valanciunas has 2 agents. He has his XL Sports agent here in the States, and he has an international agent, which is the case for a lot of international guys. Like Nikola Jokic. He has an agent here. He has Misko in Europe. It seems like Valanciunas' Lithuanian agent kind of tried to pull a fast one and go behind everybody's back and push through this deal to Panathinaikos. That's what it seems like to me, because what Mark said is that even his American agent was blindsided by this.
And you would think the Kings were as well. Otherwise, maybe they have some other options in terms of order of operations before they make that trade.
They don't have to dump the salary.
So it seems like this deal came together, A, very, very quickly. B, I do think it was relatively last second in terms of when it was presented to everyone. And C, done in the European shadows. But I guess the question then that I have from there is, to what extent did Val know that other people did not know? Was Val trying to pull a fast one as well? I guess would be my follow-up question.
That's the thing. We have not heard from Val. And that's kind of the problem. And I assume we'll hear from him and we'll get what his take on the situation. I've got to think part of him wants to go back to Greece and
Of
back to Europe.
Clearly.
I got to think part of him does, but how much of him does? And does he want to forfeit $10 million with the Nuggets for next year to do that?
Or does he want to? And does he want to make a stink about it?
Yeah.
I mean, which is because again, everything I've heard about Valanciunas is that he really is a professional, works as a player inside an organization as. Someone said they had a nightmare. Jonas declines. Vogt is our backup center. They do like to play small. The Nuggets.
We have had some
sometimes,
bad backup centers, though.
I could try. I could foul people really quickly. That's what Hartenstein did when he was here. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Not a lot of runway for him, but also he fouled a lot of people. Okay. But yeah, I think Valanciunas is someone who's supposed to be a professional, someone who likes to go to work and work. So it's not just what are his preferences, but do they override $10 million and sort of just being at the center of this story, being a guy who sort of put his foot down and made us think about it. The other thing to consider here as well is he could just come back, play 1 year in a sort of Bruce Brown situation with Jokic, and I'm sure he could make even more money wherever he goes next. So I don't know if he's going to put up a fight about this, but clearly to some extent he wanted to go home and be close to his family. I think that's very clearly a factor here.
That, from what we know, is clearly the number one factor pushing him back to Europe. It's family. I think maybe, longer term money could factor in some way. There could be other factors, but I think from what we know, the number one factor that's pushing him that way is family. And look, hard to fault him for that. But we really need to hear from Val, I feel like, as the next step. And what's also been interesting, and Mark brought this up as well, it's really been interesting how this story's been covered. You've got the Panathinaikos media that it feels like is trying to speak this story into existence. Oh, he's coming over to Athens. Oh, he's at this event. Photo up here, photo there. That to me feels like what they're trying to do when really the ball was in the Nuggets court, kind of.
Right, just push it over the finish line for sure. J.K. Wallace, he signed the 3-year NBA deal because it was lucrative. I mean, look, he should be beholden to that contract, and I think the Nuggets are going to do that.
Absolutely, man.
And I'm in favor of it.
You want to go back to Europe? Well, you shouldn't have signed a 3-year deal.
I don't blame Jonas for trying. Jonas. I don't blame Jonas for trying at all. If that's what he wants to do, you should try. But the Nuggets are not the Pelicans right now. The Nuggets are trying to win a title, and Big Val may actually be the difference. So I think he should be held to that contract. I think that's how it's going to shake out. I think he plays. I bet he plays and is a good soldier about it. But for now, clearly his agent, and to some extent him as well, have tried to push this over the finish line, knowing full well the final say was Denver's.
Yeah. A couple other things Mark Stein had to say. In terms of can he play for Panathinaikos? Like, is he bound to his contract here? The Nuggets pretty much have to grant him a release. Like, they have to get... I forget what it's called exactly. I had it right here.
There's like a letter that has to prove that he's satisfied.
A letter of clearance from FIBA that's from the Nuggets, but stamped by FIBA. Unless the Nuggets do that, he can't just go to another team. He's bound by his contract here. So I don't think it would come to this, but he can say, no, I'm staying in, Lithuania. And the Nuggets would say, okay. And he would just be on the hook for his money, and that'd be a crazy situation, but he can't just go play there. And then the final thing that Stein said is that Al Horford is not an option for the Nuggets.
What is Al Horford waiting for? Is he going to retire? I mean, what's the holdup?
I don't know.
It's clearly just Golden State at this point, right?
Yeah, everybody is operating in the league like he is going to Golden State.
So what is... I mean, what's the holdup? That's what's so confusing to me. And why was Denver thrown in that report when,
I tried to research that report.
Yeah.
I could find nothing substantial ever linking Denver.
It was just one of those kind of word of mouth. They slowly got lumped
Exactly.
in, but they were never really one of those teams. Which is why, for a long time, people were like, well, let's just move on and get Horford. But that option wasn't really on the table, which is necessarily on the table, which is why the stubbornness option.
This is the Nuggets' only option.
There was no guarantee that they were just going to sign someone, particularly Horford.
Yeah.
So
He's signing with Golden State. At least that's what everybody's saying. Even though the Nuggets could theoretically open up the mid-level exception if they just leave the Valanciunas situation as it is,
right,
and just let him go.
Chat saying Horford can't sign in Golden State until Kuminga signs due to cap. That could be it.
Can't he just sign a minimum? Isn't that what he's signing?
I have no idea.
Or is he signing a taxpayer
I
mid-level?
don't know their cap
I don't know.
situation.
Anyways, the Nuggets could offer more money. They could open that up. But it seems like Horford is just he's going to Golden State. So the end of this story is that this is really the Nuggets' only option. They don't really gain anything by opening up the mid-level. There are no more centers to get.
No, they could gain $10 million, which is why I'm really pleased, by the way, that ownership has, to some level, greenlit the stubborn approach. Because if you think about it, Stan could have just gotten paid $10 million to move off of Dario Saric's contract. That was an option. And I think there are timelines in which we could have all seen him doing that. In this case, it's been about no. Val could be the difference between a title or not. So Josh and Stan, however they work it out between them, owner, vice chairman, has greenlit this. And I appreciate it because there aren't great options. We could say flexibility, but what does that flexibility turn into down the line? I'd rather just have Valanciunas, even if he's a little ticked off.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if he's able to come here and ingratiate himself with the team, be around Yoke, be in a real winning environment for the first time in a while, I think cooler heads would prevail and he would tough it out for one season. Then you can do whatever you want.
I think so too.
It's one season, man. You can win a championship.
And don't guarantee that second year. You just don't have to.
No,
those types of assurances I've gotten the previous iteration of this front office in trouble in the past. So I appreciate that they're digging in, or at least seemingly.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So the final point about Val, is that the trade, as we have heard from Mark Stein and others, is reportedly getting official this week. Depending on when you consider the start of the week to be Sunday or Monday, today's either the final day of the week or tomorrow is. But it should be official very soon. They had to wait for every iteration of the Porter trade to go through, is how it's been explained to me.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it was the physical as the final thing. But that's all done and good.
You can just skip the physical, fellas. It's not going to tell you anything good.
It's not good.
And you knew that.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about the physical. I was prior to them finding a trade partner, but clearly Brooklyn just doesn't care.
Yeah. It should go through, I'm guessing, tomorrow. I don't think anybody's working in league office this late tonight.
Sure. Why not? Just go through.
Okay. Bets. Dev sent me 2 bets.
Superstar.
For this game. If you guys might hate on us for betting on preseason, I will admit it is psychotic. But
you know what? Smart bettors, which to be clear, I am not, but smart bettors will tell you there's money to be made in Summer League.
Dev went 2-0 on his bets in game 1.
Just saying.
Today he's got Nuggets +8 and over 182.
The over, I like Nuggets +8. I guess it's a hefty plus. That's a lot of points. Nuggets +8. Sure. I don't know. I kind of think they're gonna get mollywopped tonight. Is that a thing that people say? I felt like I made that up.
I've heard it before.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna get smacked tonight.
Wow, no faith in the Nuggets. I mean, I picked them to lose the opener.
I was gonna say not the Summer League Nuggets. No.
Yeah. And then the over. I feel like most games have been hitting the over. The last one did as well.
I mean, hey, Dev has a lot of fun betting on these games. As always, please do gamble responsibly. Set your limits. Be smart. Don't do any bets you're uncomfortable with. Please.
Yeah. We will be on the watch along very shortly, in about 5 minutes when this game tips off. We'll be hanging out there for the entire game, and then we'll be live for the post game show afterwards. So, did we just get a super chat? One buzzer beater.
Mr. Cedric Exquisite hanging out in Vegas. Good show Vogt and Harrison. I'm adding that personally. No win, no kill. Don't miss this. Is Holmes our backup center or just power forward? And more importantly, Vogt, will you be in Vegas next year? Probably next year, yeah. It's a long ways away. I think he's the backup power forward.
I think he is too, and he definitely would be a Valanciunas this year, but he's so much bigger than I expected him to be.
I know.
I was looking at him in that summer league game. I was like, he could maybe play some backup 5.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't want that.
He's backup 5 if Big Val doesn't come. But again, I think we're expecting him to.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Throw us a thumbs up. We will be talking to you on the watch along.
We all silly like the mayor.